How can that useless orphan be doing better than me? She would mutter, pounding yam harder than necessary. When will my own daughters become rich? When she has taken what rightfully belongs to my children, we shall see who will laugh last. And over my dead body will I allow this to happen. 3 years had passed since that strange night by the river, and since then, Christiana's world has changed in ways she never thought possible. The fear that once followed her has turned into peace. Welcome, my lovely audience, to Relatable African Stories. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss stories that remind us of who we are and that it pays to do good to someone, irrespective of who it is. Christiana's red oil business had grown beyond imagination. With Papa Okori's directives and a small loan from the village women's cooperative, she started by selling a few bottles in the market. Now, traders came from nearby towns to buy in bulk. Her name had become something people said with admiration. Ah, that girl were sing for the river that time. Yes, so she got a good hand for business. Papa Okore had become like the father she lost. He guided her without pride. Each evening, they would sit under the mango tree, talking about market prices, God, and the strange mysteries of the world. Sometimes, Christiana still dreamed of the water god, the green eyes, the calm voice that warned her not to go back. But every time she woke, she crossed herself and whispered, God, please, let peace remain where it now stays. Amen. Meanwhile, back in Madame Felicia's compound, things had fallen apart like old raffia mats. The once noisy house was quiet, filled with sighs and unwashed plates. The daughters who used to laugh at Christiana now spend their nights outside, chasing shadows of men. Ngozi, the eldest, was pregnant, nobody knew by whom. Amarachi had stopped coming home altogether, and Madame Felicia herself, well, shame is a fire that burns without smoke. She had heard of Christiana's success. People spoke of her in the market, praising her hard work and blessing her name. At first, Madame Felicia pretended not to care, but envy is like a seed, it grows quietly until it fills every space. How can that useless orphan be doing better than me? She would mutter, pounding yam harder than necessary. And each night, bitterness grew more bigger inside her chest. One market day, Madame Felicia heard 2 women gossiping near the pepper stand. Christiana don't buy bicycle for delivery, one said. She even rented another shop near the junction. The other added, they say her business is moving well. Madame Felicia froze where she stood, the pepper basket shaking in her hand, and that was the day the darkness in her finally found a direction. That night, after everyone had gone to bed, she sat by her small lamp thinking. Then she said to herself, if my children are not rich, then she's not going to be rich. Another power will take it away. The next morning, she tied her wrapper tight and began a journey to go see a native doctor. She went to see Baba Kamal, the herbalist who lived in the nearby village. Finally, Madame Felicia got to the herbalist's shrine. When Madame Felicia entered, the old man lifted his head slowly. His eyes were small but sharp, like 2 pieces of charcoal still hot from fire. Woman, what brings you here? He asked. She knelt. My problem is a girl. She was once in my house, but now she is rising higher than me and my children. I want her to fall back. I want her to beg for food to eat. Baba Kamal rubbed his chin, studying her. You mean you want her business to spoil? Yes, Madame Felicia said, her voice steady. Let her come back to beg me. The old man nodded, then reached behind him and brought out a calabash half filled with dark water. He dipped his finger in it and drew strange symbols on the lid. Then he asked, Do you have her picture? Madame Felicia unfolded a small photo from her wrapper, the one Christiana had taken during the last family Christmas years ago. She handed it over. Put it inside this calabash, Baba Kamal said. Every night you will call her name 3 times. Whatever you command will begin to happen. Madame Felicia's eyes gleamed. And she will not know? He smiled faintly. How can a fish know who poisoned the river? But you must be careful, the herbalist warned, and then laughed at her. She paid him and left. That night, when the moon climbed high, Madame Felicia lit a candle beside the calabash. She stared into the water's surface, saw Christiana's smiling face inside, and whispered, From today, let your customers leave you. Let your business melt up like ice. The wind outside howled once, then went still. From that night onward, things began to shift. At first, it was small Christiana's regular customers delayed payments. A woman who used to buy 20 bottles a week suddenly complained that her husband forbade her to trade again. Another promised to pay tomorrow, and tomorrow never came. Within 2 weeks, her oil drums sat half full. The bright chatter of her shop was now dull. Papa Okori noticed the change in Christiana's mood each time she came back home. Maybe it's just market tide, he told her gently. Business moves like the moon. It rises and falls. Don't stress yourself, okay? Everything will be fine, he said to her. But Christiana's heart knew something was wrong. She couldn't explain why, yet she felt a shadow walking just behind her. Every night she prayed, God, if I have offended anyone, please forgive me. I just want peace at this point in my life. Meanwhile, back in Madame Felicia's room, the calabash was bubbling slightly whenever she spoke Christiana's name. Encouraged by the results, she grew bolder. She went again to Baba Kamal. It's working, but not enough. I want her to lose her mind. Let her walk naked in the street, so everyone will laugh at her. The herbalist frowned. That is a deep request. It will come at a price. I don't care, Madame Felicia said. Tell me whatever you need. He nodded slowly. Then prepare yourself. When the gods ask for their payment, they don't always take what you offer. But envy cannot hear warnings. She left, clutching her bag of charms. In Christiana's house, things had gone from bad to worse. 2 customers had run away with her money. Her apprentice fell sick, and at night she dreamed of drowning every time she closed her eyes. She saw herself being pulled under the river. She stopped sleeping well. She stopped smiling. And by now, people have started talking already. Maybe what she did is coming after her. One afternoon, when even Papa Okorie's gentle words could not comfort her, Christiana sat alone behind her shop, head in her hands. "Maybe my blessings were borrowed," she murmured. "Maybe my sins are paying off now." Her heart was tired. Hope felt like a torn cloth too weak to cover her shame. Then, one day, a voice she hadn't heard in a long time came from her doorway. It was a woman she used to help when things were good, Mama Grace, one of her good customers. "Christy, what is going on? I went to your shop and I didn't see you open. Anyway, I came to tell you that my church is having midweek prayers today," she said. "Come with me. Maybe it will lighten your spirit after a few dances and some prayers a little, because I don't like this mood I'm seeing right now." Christiana hesitated. Her eyes were dull. "Prayer?" she whispered. "I've been praying for months." Mama Grace smiled gently. "Then this one might be the one God was waiting for." Christiana looked down at her cracked palms, then backed up. She nodded slowly. "All right, I'll come. I will try." The next morning broke with heavy clouds. The air smelled of wet earth, even though no rain had fallen yet. Christiana dressed quietly, her heart carrying a strange mix of fear and hope. She wore her cleanest wrapper, tied her hair in a simple bun, and followed Mama Grace down the long, dusty road toward the church at the village edge. The church sat on a small hill, its zinc roof shining like silver when the sun shines through the clouds. As they entered, drums were already talking to heaven. Women clapped, men sang, children were seen dancing. Christiana sat at the back, unsure if she belonged there. She had not stepped into a church since her parents died. Pain had turned her prayers silent. But today, something inside her said to her, "Stay." The pastor, a tall man with tired but kind eyes, spoke about unseen battles and the power of mercy. "Sometimes," he said, raising his Bible, "the trouble, you see, didn't just start on its own. Some people kneel to pray to God, while others kneel to destroy. But I want to tell you that God still listens louder than charms." Christiana's chest tightened. It felt as if he was talking only to her. Tears slipped down her cheeks before she could stop them. Toward the end of service, the pastor asked everyone to write their prayer requests and drop them in a woven basket at the altar. Christiana wrote slowly, "God, if anyone is fighting me, let their evil return to them. If I have offended you, forgive me. Let peace find me again." She folded the paper, dropped it, and knelt quietly. For the first time in months, she felt a calm she couldn't name. That same night, back in Madame Felicia's house, thunder crawled across the sky like an angry drum. The air grew thick, the kind that feels as if it's about to rain. Inside her room, Madame Felicia sat before the calabash again. The candlelight danced across her hard face. She lifted Christiana's picture and hissed, "You think you can escape me? Tonight you see madness." She began to chant. Her voice was low, and the water inside the pot rippled. But as she spoke, something shifted. The reflection staring back wasn't Christiana anymore. It was her own face, upside-down eyes, glowing green. Madame Felicia froze. "Who is there?" she whispered. A voice answered, slow and deep. "You are calling me too many times than you should." Her hands trembled. The calabash bubbled harder. steam rising from his mouth. Baba Kamo said nothing like this would happen, she said, trying to cover it with a cloth. But before she could, a splash hit her face. The water turned red, and from deep within came a hiss that was almost human. "The debt is yours now." The candle blew out. Her scream tore through the night. By morning, people whispered that Madame Felicia's scream had woken them at night. But when neighbors ran to her compound, she was sitting on the ground, shaking, as her voice was gone. She was unable to speak. She pointed weakly at the broken calabash, but no sound came. The picture of Christiana lay half-burned beside it. Papa Okorie heard people talking about Madame Felicia's sudden cries that night as he walked back from the stream. At that point, he knew Madame Felicia must have had something to do with Christiana's problem, he muttered. He went straight to Christiana's shop. She was there, counting empty bottles, her eyes tired. "Papa, I don't understand," she said. "Customers will be promising to pay back my money and they'll just disappear. I feel like something is squeezing my life." The old man nodded slowly. "And last night, did you have any dreams?" Christiana looked up sharply. "Yes, I saw the river, but this time the water was black and my hands were reaching for me. And a bay," Papa Okuri sighed. "So this is it. She knew something about her problem," he muttered slowly to himself. "What is wrong, Papa?" she asked, her voice cracking. He looked at her and said, "Keep praying, my daughter." That evening, Christiana sat by her window, watching the first drops of rain slide down the roof. She thought of her auntie and wondered if she still hated her. Then she pushed the thought away and whispered, "God, I leave everything in your hand." But somewhere across the village, Madame Felicia's world was breaking apart. Nuzi, her pregnant daughter, had been hanging around with a group of boys known for theft. That night, police trucks stopped outside their hideout, chasing them and shooting down some of their gang members. By dawn, Ngozi was caught among them, barefoot, crying, holding her belly. The officers took her home, their faces tired. "Madam," one said, "your daughter was caught trying to break into a businessman's store. You're lucky she's still alive. We came to inform you to let you know her whereabouts." Felicia tried to speak, but her voice refused to come. Only tears rolled down her face. The officers shook their heads and left. Moments later, Amarachi's friend rushed in, breathless. "Madame Felicia, Amarachi no dey town again oh. They say she ran away with that mechanic boy to Port Harcourt." Felicia's knees gave way. She fell beside the broken calabash, clutching her chest. Then, like a wind returning to its source, her voice came back, but it was not gentle. She began to shout Christiana's name again and again until neighbors gathered. "It's her! It's that girl! Oh, I wanted her to fail, but why is it my daughter's? I went to Baba Kamal to make her run mad, but she is still alive. Christiana, please leave my family alone." People gasped as Felicia's body started trembling. "The pot! It is talking to me! Please help me!" she cried. The crowd murmured, fear spreading like cold water through their bones. Suddenly, Madame Felicia ran out to the road as she untied her wrapper and her clothes. and was kneeling in the middle of the road. Her hair was loose, her wrapper soaked with sand, her eyes swollen with tears. In front of her were a crowd of people who had come to witness what was going on. "Christiana!" she cried, voice hoarse. "Please forgive me. They won't let me have peace again. Oh." News got to Christiana at home about what was happening to her auntie. Immediately, Christiana and Papa Okori ran out to come see for themselves what was going on. When Christiana got to the crowd, she stepped back, trembling in fear. "Auntie," she called. Madame Felicia lifted her face. "Oh, Christiana, my daughter, I am so sorry. It was me. I destroyed you with my envy. I went to Baba Kamal to help me make you go mad and also help me crumble your business." Her words broke into sobs. But now she cried. Christiana's breath quickened. "Auntie, please, stand up. Let's go home, please." She looked at Christiana, tears streaming down on her face. "Please, forgive me, my daughter. Let's get you home first, Auntie." "Please stand up," Christiana said. But her auntie kept begging. She looked at her in pity. She whispered, "I forgive you, Auntie." Immediately, her auntie fell back down unconscious. All effort to bring her back alive failed. Christiana closed her eyes, tears rolling down on her cheeks. "I didn't want her to die." And the Luli, Okori touched her shoulder. "Death is not always punishment. Sometimes it's a mirror showing what greed looks like when it finishes eating." Weeks passed. Muzi was still in police custody. Amarachi had been seen once, selling oranges by the roadside in Port Harcourt. Her belly had gone flat already. Who knows, maybe she has sold the baby. A few weeks later, Christiana buried her auntie quietly beside the mango tree. Only a handful of neighbors came. Papa Okori said the prayer himself, voice steady. "Let her rest and find water that forgives." After that day, Christiana started going to church again after so many years. The villagers began to notice changes around her again. Her business was reviving. Her shop that was once dry was now filled with customers again. People said, her story is a lesson, but it reminds us that what we wish for others can become our own karma. Thank you for listening to Relatable African Stories. If this story touched you, don't forget to subscribe, share, and keep your heart open, because every act, good or evil, always returns home.